No matter who you are or where you live, if your passion is hunting, then make your dreams come true. Join us on a great safari and adventure as we traverse 5 continents in search of world's finest hunting trophies. Join the best professional hunters in the world in search for the best trophy animals. You will experience unforgettable hunting adventures and international cultures that few people on Earth get to know. Share the thrill of the ultimate challenge to promote the sustained use of world's greatest renewable resources, wildlife conservation, and fair chase hunting. Feel the excitement, share the passion, join the experience of the ultimate adventure that this world has to offer. Let safari season take you there. So far during our journey, we saw numerous prospective hunting destinations. We started from the North American continent, where we visited many of the Canadian heavenly places for the hunters. Then we moved to the warmer latitudes and stopped in Mexico. Then we transferred to the South American continent. Deer hunting in Argentina and fishing along Amazonia are just a few of the marvels we saw on this incredible continent. We crossed half the globe to participate in hunting buffaloes and exotic antelope types in Australia. We played with the jumping crocodiles and then moved to Asia. We passed the Taurus Mountains in Turkey and undertook several high mountainous marches in the Caucasus Mountains in Russia. Many more exciting moments are ahead of us in our safari around the globe. We will continue with bear hunting in Magadan, and then we will visit 10 states in Europe to see what it feels like hunting on the European continent. In the end, we will finalize our adventure in one of the 8 states in Africa that we will visit in the search for extraordinary trophy animals and exotic hunting destinations. Prepare for a frenetic competition with time, because in the remaining half an hour, we will travel half the globe. As it seems, our next destination would be Africa. The African continent is the dream of tourists, photographers, and hunters. Here, the unforgettable hunting stories from our childhood turn into reality for the lucky ones that manage to make their dreams come true and visit it. Worldwide, there are 84 types of antelopes, and 72 of them live in Africa. We will start our hunting adventure from the eastern coast of South Africa, at the territory of Mozambique. Hunting season starts in the beginning of June and gets finalized in the end of November. The abundant faunistic versatility offers lots of hunting that is quite attractive. We will aim for the extremely large trophy animals of the species whose hunting is permitted. We will be looking for reedbuck, sable, Sunni, waterbuck, wildebeest, bushbuck, and 2 duikers.
Meadow and saw a great reedbuck way out in the regrowth, in the green grass. We put a stalk on the reedbuck and 2 warthogs came by really close. So we're looking for camp meat and decided if this one came in range, we'd take a shot at him. 55. How many? 55. 57.
In addition to the numerous herds of antelopes, the boundless bush is also the home of a prehistoric creature, pangolin, the anteater. Bwana Mananga, the forest healer, this is the way Africans call the prehistoric creature that almost got extinct nowadays. The legends about pangolin's healing properties resulted in its almost total destruction. Cases were documented where commercial ships started from Africa for China, and they were loaded with tons of pangolin meat. Our mission is not only to show you the extraordinary skills in shooting, large trophies, and the unique hunting moments. Our main goal is to reveal to you how the united hunters could change the dreadful way in which the human exploits nature, and the way animals could be saved from poachers' attacks. During the long years of civil wars and insurrections, poachers in Mozambique managed to destroy much of the game. Thus, they eliminated the opportunity for many people to make their living from hunting licenses. The government was pressed to the wall by numerous international organizations via economic sanctions implemented for the countries in the region, and it had to limit hunting. This way, without actual economic assistance, the local population killed for meat almost 60% of the wildlife populations.
But they could have followed. Look at the length of that. It gets caught and it can't go anywhere.
That's why we need people like WWF to do something when we ask. They just talk and they do nothing.
Yeah.
And I'll say that openly.
Yeah.
This vicious circle is repeated in almost all African states where trophy hunters do not set their foot because of one reason or another. Each prohibition for hunting some species without the necessary economic argumentation results in its extinction. On the contrary, the well-managed revenues from hunting licenses could restore the population of almost all extinct species and improve the economic situation of the local population. Despite the good perspectives of countries' future after improving the hunting licenses, hunger is still a problem everywhere, and during their stay, hunters get meat from the local population. While helping for their subsistence, providing them with meat, the local inhabitants do not need to kill the young and female animals for food. This way, their population slowly and steadily restores. We have the same situation in almost the whole of Africa. Now let us continue our safari in the neighboring African Republic of Zambia. We will show you a hunting camp located on the shore of Luangwa River, on the borderline with one of the best reserves in Africa, where 14 different types of antelopes, large buffalo herds, giraffes, lions, leopards, large groups of hippopotamuses, and many elephants live and reproduce. This is the paradise of wild animals in Africa. Wild inhabitants freely move between the reserve and the hunting concessions around it, which provides hunters with the opportunity to get extraordinary trophy animals.
This is camp. Is that spooky?
As a rule, when male animals grow old and they cannot maintain their status of leaders in herds or groups, they are chased away and undertake a lonely wandering that gets them outside the reserve limit. This is the place of hunters in the circle of wild nature. There are exceptions, which are about the large animals being constantly on the move. The hundreds and even thousands of tourists who happen to pass through the reserves on a daily basis make the animals quite irritable. Many female elephants with babies are very aggressive towards people. Additionally, the numerous lion footprints are signal to the attention of everyone that there is moving on foot in the bush.
You got a lion here and a local there. And the lion's not afraid of anything, obviously.
Warning him or her that he or she should be extremely careful and attentive. There is lots of game to be caught by the lions, but if you happen to meet old or ill lion, you could prove one of the numerous human victims of this predator. Hunting along the big river brings lots of adrenaline to hunters, mainly because of their frequent encounters with two of the most dangerous animals in Africa, crocodile and hippopotamus. The crocodile, no matter how bloodthirsty a predator it is limited by water in order to stalk its inattentive victims. But the hippopotamuses, with their innocent appearance, make local people feel fear and respect because of their outbursting character, both on land and in water.
Yeah, he might go to that.
This is because the victims of the angry giants are times greater than all other accidents with wild animals in Africa. Definitely Zambia is one of the African states where animals are really wild and numerous. Their hunting is archetypal and authentic, with opportunities for success with which both hunters and the game being hunted are provided. Now let us cross another borderline, the one with Botswana, in order to see with our own eyes the hunting opportunities in the vast hunting territories. Here, unlike neighboring Zambia, free hunting is forbidden even to bushmen. Each encroachment on wild animals is criminalized. Nevertheless, trophy hunting is possible after paying for a license. In most countries where local people's living directly depended on the wild inhabitants with which they co-inhabit, usually some of the money from these licenses is provided as compensation to these communities. Obviously, this is not the case in Botswana. Otherwise, hunting concessions contain lots of game, starting from the large antelopes gemsbok, eland, kudu, coming to the smallest ones. Hunting large cats here is fully prohibited. With this measure, the Botswana government would like to keep the ever-declining leopards and lions population. Unfortunately, this experiment had a tragic ending in Kenya, and it would only result in the full extermination of predators by the local owners of cattle and by the village people. Let us continue our journey to the African lands and cross another border to the south. We are already in South Africa. This is a country where hunting is main business to numerous farmers and concessionaires. Whatever nature fans claim, it is a fact that in the South African Republic, the populations of all animal species increased their size many times. Even though most hunting territories are enclosed by high fences, this is the place where hunting the Big Five is totally possible and real. Here, for the purposes of increasing the wild animal's growth, no false environmental organizations and ideals take care. All these results are thanks to hunters' interest, their money, and outfitters' extensive labor. It is well known that many hunters do not approve of hunting in the enclosed areas, but it proves that it is a good way for the wild animals' habitats to be kept away of the fierce hands of stock breeders and large corporations and their GMO crops. This is the place where we could hunt plains game and dangerous game.
Through the chest cavity, and he was down in about not even a minute after that.
In addition to hunting the animals that are typical to the African continent, in some hunting concessions you could hunt exotic animals whose natural habitats are thousands of kilometers away from here. Hunting water buffalo, sika deer, fallow deer, mouflon, and even four-horned sheep is possible.
Approved exotics under the SCI ward system, and there is some animals that are on the list to maybe be approved, but there's not enough numbers been taken. We're going to be able to add to those numbers. I believe we now have a total of 12 species of animals.
And wild boars are exactly the way they are in Europe. Let us leave the enclosed hunting farms of South Africa in order to submerge in the wild and original atmosphere of the African bush. And the impassable high mountainous forests in Ethiopia. Its territory is the home of 227 mammal species. Here you could hunt from the smallest dik-dik antelopes to the largest nyalas. Ethiopia has many local species that are unique to the country.
So they're just a subspecies that's found only in Ethiopia. It's a real special trophy, one of the top trophies with the mountain nyala of the highlands of Ethiopia. And this one is, he's got very little hair on the back of his neck, you know, very thin on his hindquarters here. Just a great bushbuck to take out. He's an old, heavy, you know, he's worn down. Just a great specimen and a tremendous shot. We got him at about 30 yards.
Yeah, so don't let them fool you. This is a really old bushbuck, and that's the ones you want to take out of the gene pool.
The tribes that inhabit the country are friendly, and foreigners' visit is always welcome to the youngest ones. Here, during a safari, you could exercise your fishing skills while angling for Nile perch and tens of sweetwater fish species. And local hunters could reveal you the techniques and approaches towards stalking the dangerous buffaloes and hippopotamuses amidst the high papyruses where visibility is not greater than 2 meters. This is knowledge that could save your life during the close encounters with the Black Death of Africa. Everything in Ethiopia is wild and original, and hunters are charmed by this wild beauty. Nevertheless, the lucky ones that could get a license for leopard hunting would experience the hunt of their life. This hunt with stalking the large, fierce cat is amidst the most attractive experiences to be remembered that one could have. Ethiopia is the oldest independent state in Africa. There are things that every traveler that passes by this place must see. The capital city of Addis Ababa is the place where there is a museum hosting the cultural and archaeological findings from all over the country. We could see ancient armament and ornaments left from the times when the tribes here made their living while hunting. Bushmen used great variety of arsenal of various hunting and war devices that are very well preserved. This is the place that exhibits Lucy's bones, the most ancient human remnants ever found. They date back to 195,000 years ago. After the freezing view of the bodily remnants of one of human kinship's predecessors, let us undertake a dramatic travel in the country where for the first and last time in world history, the voodoo magic was perceived as official religion. We would visit Benin to see what we could hunt here. The country is located on the coast of the Gulf of Guinea, and it is of relatively predominant plain relief. The meters above sea level are almost one and the same everywhere. Climate is hot and humid, but with less precipitation than the other West African states. Benin is covered with savannas and low-stem shrubs and trees. This is the paradise of the roan antelopes and buffaloes. Here, lions feel quite comfortably, and they could easily surprise their prey from an ambush in the high, dry grass. This is an effect for antelopes as well as for the inattentive hunters. Here to people, in addition to the lethal encounters with Daga boys and the hungry lionesses, another life-threatening factor is hot weather. It takes only 2 hours spent by the hunters not used to heat in the open air and without water consumption at 45 degrees Celsius to collapse. And then the vultures that are non-stop following you from above would gladly show your location to all predators in the surroundings. Benin is one of the African countries where you do not stand great chances of successful safari, especially if you are a bow hunter. Nevertheless, here you could prove you are a real hunter while trying your strength against Africa the way it is. Now that we got to know 7 different African states and the opportunities for undertaking safari in each of them, we will finish our tour with a pearl of Africa's crown. More than 100 years ago, Sir Winston Churchill said, "The kingdom of Uganda is a real fairy tale. Here you could discover a wonderful new world. Nature is different, vegetation is different, and climate is different. But most importantly, people here are unique, and I haven't seen any like them anywhere else in Africa. Let me just say that Uganda is the gathering point of magnificence and sparkling variety of colors and species and animal abundance. Birds, insects, reptiles, and all kinds of beasts. Uganda is indeed the pearl of Africa." In more than 100 years from the time when Churchill said this, Uganda and its people are as friendly and hospitable as ever. Country's history contains dark moments as well, but they are part of the past. Nowadays, the name of the war criminal Joseph Kony that kidnapped around 600 children from their homes and killed 300,000 of his compatriots is already forgotten. The country is a safe tourist place, and it is rapidly developing considering its economic perspective. The cattle herds become bigger and bigger, and trophy hunting that was recently permitted provide the local communities with the incentives to protect wild animals and their habitats from the cattle attack and poacher encroachments. Indeed, this is hunter's paradise. Many water buck herds live near the lakes and swampy areas, and among them we could find numerous record-breaking big trophy animals. Amidst the grassy savannas, you could see giant impalas moving around, which are nowhere else to be seen in Africa. Thanks to the favorable climate and flora variety, antelopes of all species feel perfectly, and their population is huge. Antelopes that could be quite successfully hunted are eland, bushbuck, reedbuck, Uganda cob, Nile buffalo, hartebeest, and many more. Hunting Cape buffalo is full of dynamics and adrenaline, and the mysterious sitatunga that inhabits the marshes and swamps gives an additional pinch of mysteriousness and secretiveness to the Uganda safari. Uganda is and will be Africa's pearl thanks to its people and their attitude towards natural riches available at that place. This is the endpoint of our safari in Africa and our tour around the world. There are many more great destinations and unique places that we didn't have the chance to show you. Actually, you saw a tiny bit of the opportunities to be discovered by everyone. We hope we helped you make your first step in traveling along distant lands, amidst unknown people, in order to get to know our limitless and admirable blue planet. When you get to know more about wild nature and the impact human population has on it, maybe you will realize the message sent by an extraordinary politician and passionate hunter. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. This is our message to you, the hunters. Be sportsmen, because it is only up to you to make it possible for our children in the future to be free to hunt and protect wild animals and their natural habitats. In the next episode of Safari Season, we will visit new places. We will research in detail many of the destinations that we briefly reviewed today. We will get in-depth knowledge of the hunting opportunities, the necessary hunting equipment, and everything which is interesting and attractive about these journeys. We will closely follow in real time the events during these safaris. You will see with your own eyes the failures of our favorites that we will accompany around the world. You will become part of the hunting adventures of these hunters and the video operators that accompany them, full of emotion and dangers. From the wild north of Australia through the exotic islands of Bali, Java, Hawaii, and Mauritius, and the jungles and temples of Cambodia, to the North Territories of Canada, we will cross all continents, and no matter your weather forecast, rain, snow, or storm, we will be ready to show you one more safari season.